Hello and welcome to my podcast. My name is Oktadino, and today in this opportunity, I'll be talking about the upcoming console, which is the PlayStation 5. Now, the PS5 is not upcoming anymore in some countries such as the US, Japan, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, and South Korea because the PS5 had been released there on November 12th. And it also had been released in Europe on November 19th. And it will be released in Indonesia on January 22nd. Now, I'm personally very excited for the upcoming release of this console, because I will buy it once it comes out, so I would know how the experience goes, and I hope it doesn't disappoint. Now, a lot of people has been making fun of the design. I can't because I can't really show you here, so you could just Google it for yourself. But some people say it looks like a building, and some other people say it looks like an anime character. I know I personally like the design, and it looks very futuristic for me. So yeah. And as of right now, there are two types that Sony released, which is the Ultra HD disk drive, or they also call it the standard version, which comes at $499. And then the second one is the digital edition, which comes at $399. Now, the only significant difference between these two types is that the digital edition doesn't have the input to insert the disk drive, so you cannot play any physical game with the digital edition. And let me list the specification here. The height is 39 centimeters, the depth is 26 centimeters, the width is 10.4 centimeters for the standard edition and 9.2 centimeters for the digital edition. The weight is 4.5 kilogram for the standard edition, and it is 3.9 kilogram for the digital edition. Now, the advantage of buying the standard edition is that when you get bored with the physical game, you can resell it for a lower price because it's been used by you, of course. And yeah, that's one of the advantage of buying the standard edition. And if you buy the digital edition, you can save $100, and you can save up space in your house or wherever you play, because you don't need to provide space to stack up your physical game. But if you get bored, you cannot sell the game, because it's a software which you can buy from PlayStation Store online. So that's the advantage of buying either one of those. Now, personally, because it had yet to be officially released in Indonesia, all I can do right now is just to buy the accessories and extra controllers and games. Right now, I have the NBA 2K21 game with me. It's a basketball game, for you who don't know. From the trailer, I can judge that the quality of this game is a lot better. But I'll find out once I have the console with me. Now, a lot of people on the internet has been saying it's trash, how it doesn't really change, and they just make the players sweatier or more sweaty, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I got this for 900,000 rupiah, the game. I really put high expectation on this game, and I hope it doesn't disappoint. Right now, today is November 30th, Monday, and as of today, I have listed here some updates that had been released due to the errors and mistakes that the PlayStation 5 have been making. So let me read this for you. The first one is the stalling download queue, which fixed an issue where downloads were perpetually stalled. so they were freezing. The game could not be downloaded, and a recent update fixed that problem. The second one is a stability issue, which was fixed after some games freezed and crashed many times. Now the third update is actually dedicated to the standard edition of the PlayStation 5. If you are a PlayStation player, you would know that the disc version of the games are still required to be installed to the console before you can play it. And a recent update actually fixed a problem where the disc version of the games were uninstalled randomly and without any warning. So that was one of the major issues that the users have had with the PlayStation 5. And now the most recent update was about the rest mode. The rest mode is basically a mode which turns off the screen and consume very little power. So usually players use this mode to charge their controllers without having to take too much electricity, and the most recent update fixed a problem where controllers are not charged while in rest mode. A lot of people have been complaining about this, and Sony made a quick move to fix this issue. And now we are moving on to the accessories. Now these accessories come separately, but they're still officially published by Sony. Now the first accessory is the DualSense wireless controller. Now this controller is useful if you want to play with your friends offline. They come at $69.99, and they offer a immersive haptic feedback, dynamic adaptive triggers, and a built-in microphone, all integrated into an iconic design. And now the second accessory is the charging station, which comes at $29.99. This accessory basically allows you to charge up to 2 different controllers simultaneously. For me, this is very useful because you will need to provide any more USB cables, and it looks a lot more futuristic and tidier. And now the third accessory is, they call it the Pulse 3D wireless headset. This is a very unique and futuristic design. It is a seamless wireless experience with a headset fine-tuned for 3D audio on PS5 consoles. This headset comes at $99. And then the fourth one is the media remote, which comes at $29. This basically allows you to control basically anything you want that's related with the console without having to turn on the controller. And at last but not least, it's the HD camera, which possess a stereo wide-angle lenses, and they can capture up to 1080p or pixel, which may seem strange given that the PS5 is such a 4K focused console. But for picture-in-picture broadcast, it's obviously more than enough. It's more than sufficient. It would be very, very useful for gamers and streamers, because as a broadcasting camera, this camera is relatively smaller and cheaper compared to other broadcasting cameras. So, gamers and streamers will profit from this. Alright, and the list of accessories was the last agenda of today, and that wraps up the podcast for today. I hope this exposes you to more information that you had not gotten before, and goodbye everybody. Take care and stay safe.